everybody. Welcome back to another edition of my favorite podcast, because it's my podcast. Well, it's not just mine. It's also Chris Candy's. And we got a jogger in the street. He had some face paint on. People jogging really take it seriously. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's my favorite saying from Chris Candy. Chris Candy loves that saying. I love making fun of Chris Candy right now because it's just me and you, audience. We don't have Chris yet. I'm about to dial him in. This is a very fun podcast today. We have my grandfather. That's right. I call him my pop. His name is George Vitale, and he's one of the best storytellers I know. He's one of the funniest guys I know. I feel like I get all of my humor. My sense of humor, I feel like I get from my grandpa. Big part of my life. From Newark, New Jersey, Italian. Very fun. He's going to talk about, well, I'm going to let him get into it. But we have a lot to talk about, and I'm very excited. And look, the reason why my grandpa's on this week's podcast is my grandparents have not been to Los Angeles. It's been around 15 years now, and they came in for the holidays. Of course, we're in the vortex right now, so we're out of the holidays, but he's in town right now for the holidays, my grandma and my grandpa. We've had a lovely time with them. My mom lives in Los Angeles as well, so it was my girlfriend, Hillary, myself, my grandparents, my sister's down here. And I was like, you haven't been here in 15 years. I got to get you on the podcast. He's a big fan of the podcast. And and that's why we're going to have him on today. I got a little guest right now, my little dog. This is Maya. If you're listening to it, you obviously can't see Maya nor hear her. But that's why we also have the podcast on YouTube, because this is being recorded on GoPros. Let's check the audio. We're doing great. Everything's great. You know what? Why don't we bring Chris in? Have a little chat. We got about 10 minutes before we pick up my grandpa, so we got a little bit of time to catch up. You guys out there listening, stretch your toes, put on a little cappuccino. Do whatever you got to do. I don't know. Just figure it out. We got Maya. She's a little stressed out right now. We're going to call in Chris Candy, and we're going to get this going. We're going to get this show going.
Hello.
And hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, Rick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I was just giving a little intro. I was saying that my grandparents, they haven't been in L.A. in about 15 years.
Really?
And, I was like, we got to get my grandpa on the pod. Well, originally we wanted my grandma also, but she said, no, I don't want to be on it. Just get your grandpa on.
Why didn't you want to be on it?
My grandma's a little shy, and I think she just,
Okay.
So I think, my grandpa, he's a fan. He was listening to one of the episodes when I was over at my mom's the other day.
Okay.
He listens to everything, so, I'm excited to get him on.
Oh, that's cool.
And, I've been putting my grandpa in stuff ever since I was a kid. I mean, when I discovered, I don't know if you know this, I discovered filmmaking because of my grandpa.
What?
It was him.
Really?
Yeah, he gave me my first video camera.
Okay.
When I was like 10 years old, and I was going out to visit them, and encouraged me. He's always been a big encouragement in my life. Him and my mom, my whole family. But my grandpa was kind of the one that was always pushing it.
Okay.
And
cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get him on.
All right, we got the main inspiration. The reason Rick is a filmmaker is going to be on this show today. No big problem. Don't stress it, all right?
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada boom. Oh.
And you know what I found? I find because my grandpa, he's from Newark, New Jersey.
Uh-huh. Wait, how do you say that? How do you say that?
It's Newark.
I thought it was Newark.
Newark, whatever. It's such a weird word.
Newark. It sounds like
Newark. Newark.
Sounds like that Robin Williams character, Mork.
Oh, Mork. Yeah.
Newark.
It's such a shitty spell. Newark. It smells like a dump. You get into the Newark airport,
what are we doing?
and it just smells like. It smells like sulfur. It smells like it's just Jersey. I mean, Jersey's great. Great pizza.
Yeah.
You been to Jersey?
Oh, I've been to Jersey. Yeah, I was at Jersey. I've been to Jersey several times.
Really?
Last time.
It's no longer New Jersey. You know, it's Old Jersey.
Is it? No,
I
you're
don't
being.
know. It should be called Old Jersey.
Oh wait, I forgot. You tell really dumb jokes sometimes. How is it that How is it that your sense of humor is so vast? It's like one angle you create some of the most clever jokes on camera.
Thanks, Chris.
And then your default on the podcast is just tell like even underneath like a dad joke. It's like sub dad joke.
I think with like when I'm in making stuff for the screen, I have more time to flesh it out and refine it to make me look better.
Yeah.
They say like an actor is only as good as the editor. I just made that up, by the way.
I believed it. I believed it.
Because your editor is going to choose the best of the best. I was watching a movie last night.
What'd you watch?
Called The Holiday. The Holiday with Cameron Diaz.
I love that movie.
It is good, but Cameron Diaz she's not good.
In that movie?
She's not she's not a very good actress.
You don't like her?
I could tell like when they were doing that movie, like they probably did 30 takes and they were like, this is as good as we're gonna get it, Cameron. Let's move on. Kate Winslet, she's amazing.
Jack Black's in that movie. I love that movie.
Jack Black he plays a composer. I don't buy their relationship though, Kate and Jack. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I like that movie
but I guess,
because they play all the Cinema Paradiso music in it.
That's right.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
In the vortex.
It's a great movie.
In the vortex right now, we're in a literal vortex. It's a weird time in between two holidays.
Exactly. When you're listening to this, it's already 2020.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's still 2019.
And in the vortex reality.
In the vortex reality, exactly.
And so, I love watching that movie in the holiday season. But I bought it. I bought it on iTunes. Cinema Paradiso.
Oh, you bought it?
Cinema Paradiso.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, Cinema Paradiso is a great movie.
I'm sipping on a nice kombucha right now. I listened to a couple of the other old podcasts, and I was like, I got it.
What the hell?
I listened to our Jason Schatz one the other day, and
there's a funeral going on right now.
Really?
Yeah, there's a procession.
I was just driving through Little Ethiopia.
You were listening to Jason Schatz,
and you were talking so much more than I was. And last week episode I was hungover from the Second City Christmas party. So this week I'm up in my game. All right, you're gonna get top tier questions. All right, you're gonna get high grade content from Mr. Chris Candy. Okay,
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I did my homework. I asked you what your grandfather's name was before the show started. All right, all right. I found out where he's from. All right, you're gonna get all kinds of hard hitting questions as I drive up. I think I'm gonna make my way up to Malibu to get a coffee.
Oh, nice.
This just so everyone knows, listeners and viewers. I'm
in a funeral procession right now.
You are?
This is ridiculous. I'm trying to get to my grandpa, and there's like this cops blocking the street. Yeah. Got 30 cars going.
Well, it's a big deal, man. Jeez Louise.
I know. I got to go. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yes. Pay a little respect.
Wait. So what in Malibu is there like a coffee place that's really good?
Oh yeah, it's a nice little small independent brand called Starbucks. They have only a few locations around the world.
Okay.
And
I thought you were a coffee bean guy.
You said that one day in one of the earlier podcasts, and
the first podcast you went to Coffee Bean, and you were talking about how much you love Coffee Bean.
Yeah, I love a coffee bean, but guess what? I changed my mind. All right, I'm into whatever I'm into. I right now have a gift card for Starbucks, so I'm Starbucks guy now.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you get your agent a Starbucks card or a bottle of wine?
Oh, I got them both. Well, managers are getting bottles of wine that are going out tomorrow, and then my commercial agents, my lovely commercial agents over at SBV Talent, I got them all some coffee and some chocolates and
nice
and some candles. So they were very appreciative of that. As I am very appreciative.
Maybe next year you'll get them a MacBook Pro.
Yeah, well, yeah. If I book like 10 commercials next year, everyone's getting a MacBook Pro. I was in at the Grove yesterday. You ever been to the Grove?
Yeah.
And
yes, Chris, I've been to the Grove.
Hey, I'm just asking hard-hitting questions, okay?
I hate the Grove. It's the worst place.
I love it. It's fun.
What? It's like I don't really like malls. I don't like being around a lot of people. I think a lot of people feel that way. They don't
Really?
like being around people.
Really?
Yeah, it's too much energy. It's like everyone's shopping and moving around.
Well, I went to...
what were you doing there?
I went with my friend Corey Whitted. You know Corey.
Oh, I know Corey. Yeah, we got to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, he's coming on, and he hit me up in the afternoon, and he said, you want to go get a beer? And I said, yeah, let's go get a beer. So we went and got a beer at the farmer's market, and then we got another beer. We got 2 beers.
Wow.
Another beer in the Grove by the water fountain. Never done it before.
Oh, where?
Never done it before.
Where? That little restaurant by the water fountain?
Yeah, the little restaurant.
I forget what it's called.
I don't know, but I think that's the closest.
Whoa, Maya.
What's Maya doing?
She just got up on her front legs because I hit the brakes.
Are you
She's
still?
very
Are you
confused.
still in the
She's like,
funeral?
"What am I
Are you
doing?"
still in the funeral procession?
I thought I was going to be a little quicker to get my grandpa, but there's a bit of traffic right now. I don't know what's going on. It's
this is the whole
we're doing
point
a
of the
podcast on a Saturday. I know we're in bumper to bumper, but we got to get him on here. Otherwise, it's going to be an hour and a half long podcast.
And no one wants.
I noticed they've been getting a little longer.
They have been getting a little longer.
Okay.
It's okay. Just can't get too long.
We're stretching out. We're stretching out. We're not going to do a 3-hour.
Never.
Unless we get, if we get Elon Musk and he gives us a ride in his Cybertruck.
Ooh,
then maybe we'll
hey,
go
that's
3.
a good one to push for. Get Elon in the Cybertruck.
Elon, we want to get in your Cybertruck. I pre-ordered a Cybertruck.
You did?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right when they were taking $100 deposits to get your number. They're not going to come out. The 500-mile range one isn't coming out until 2023. So I got 3 years to save up my pennies and get me a Cybertruck.
You're going to get the Cybertruck.
Yeah. Well, you know why? You know why I want it?
Why?
I don't really give a shit. Well, I think it does look cool, but it's the range is incredible. It's a 500-mile range on a charge. So now you can go up to Northern California, and you can finally do it. You don't need to stop at a supercharge station.
No, it's cool.
You can go out to Palm Springs, go there and come back and not have to charge once.
You're going to Palm Springs pretty soon, aren't you?
I'm going to Palm Springs. Yeah. It's Hillary's birthday.
Okay.
And we're going out to the Ace Hotel. I've never been to Palm Springs. When I think about Palm Springs,
oh my God,
I've never been. I have an image in my mind. I think of 1950s Burbank, Johnny Carson.
Okay.
And 1950s. That's what I think of. I think of a town that's going to be trapped, and everything is mid-century, modern. Nuclear.
I'm not
nuclear.
Nuclear.
Family. Yeah. Just very. How do you pronounce nuclear? It's nuclear.
I was just nuclear. I don't know. You're pretty close. Palm Springs is rad. A lot of Canadians go down to Palm Springs. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Canadians love going. Well, during the winter season, they like leaving. They call them snowbirds, winter birds.
Oh yeah, my grandparents on my dad's side, they were snowbirds. They would go from Jersey to Arizona, and they would just oscillate back and forth.
Really? So the same one we're going to pick up today. He spent a lot of time in Arizona.
No. That was my grandparents on my dad's side.
On your dad's
these
side.
are my grandparents on my mom's side.
Nice.
Yeah, so they are the mom's parents.
Who was the one? And maybe we could put this clip in real quick. Who was the one with the dog?
The dog. This is my grandparents on the mom's side, and we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Explain this, because maybe we could put the clip on up at the end, because it's. Well, here, just let's run the clip right now. Let's run the clip, okay?
Which clip? Let's run a clip right now.
Of the dog clip.
Another beautiful day. Oh my God. Good morning. How are you? You doing good? You better?
That was okay. So explain the dog clip for me.
Yeah. Okay. So that dog that you just saw is on my Instagram story. Okay. So my grandparents, they always get the dogs from their kids and their grandparents. If they can't handle a dog, and they realize it's too much responsibility.
Yeah.
My grandparents eventually get that dog, and so my sister was gifted this little tiny turd of a poodle called Lady, And my sister, it's a ridiculous name. My sister, because she's such like a beast, my sister couldn't watch her, care for her, because she was going back to school and whatnot. So she temporarily brought the dog to my grandparents' place in Florida, and now that dog has become their dog. And so I met that dog years ago, like 8. I met that dog like 8 years ago, and I go to my my mom's place in Napa when she used to live there, and my younger brother is like, "Hey, come upstairs. You got to see this crazy fucking dog that Leah just got." And I was like, "All right, let's do this." And I went upstairs, and my brother was pushing the dog's buttons. He's like, "What? The dog's there, and dog's barking at my brother, and my brother has a towel." And he goes, "Watch this," and he throws the towel on top of the dog. It's kind of mean, but I mean, he's not hurting the dog, but he just confusing the dog.
Yeah.
So the dog starts losing its mind underneath this towel, like barking and barking. So I pull the towel off of the dog, and immediately, as soon as I pull the towel off, the dog locks eyes with me, and it's seeing red.
Yeah.
And from that point on, the dog has always hated me. Lady has hated my guts. And, I do antagonize it a little bit because it's funny. And I went there 2 Christmases ago to Florida to visit the grandparents. And every time I came out of the room, this dog wanted to kill me. She was, like, growling, as you just saw.
Yeah.
And, it was quite the comical thing. And, people on the Instagram stories, they couldn't get enough of it.
That
it was
dog
like
was
my
a
most
hit.
popular thing
That's your most popular
I've
story,
ever done. Yeah, everyone, because, I think what was funny about it is the dog has these cute little bows in its hair, and it's like, it looks like a cute dog, but it's not. And the dog always bites my grandma, always bites her hand.
Okay.
And, she's just like, it's not just me. The dog is like Satan, incarnated.
Looks like it.
And,
like just a really upset dog.
Yeah, it's
But did I tell the story on the podcast? All right, I'm just gonna run my car into the ocean now.
And we're getting close. We're getting close, by the way. But yeah, keep going. We got about 5 minutes,
right.
and then Grandpa's getting on.
My sister.
Yeah,
did I tell the story about Flick, my sister's dog?
No, that's a great name.
Flick is my sister's dog. Love the guy, but for years, my sister's had him for maybe 15 years, a little longer than that. He didn't like. He was a teeny little dog, a little purse dog, a little lap dog. But he didn't like getting picked up underneath his belly. He would just get get really angry.
They don't like that. Yeah,
no, they don't like that. And he had this snaggletooth.
Some dogs don't like.
Everyone loved the snaggle.
They don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a little snaggle.
They don't like it. He had a snaggletooth.
He had a snaggletooth. Okay.
Yeah.
So he has this tooth, and it's protruding, and everyone thought it was so cute. Well, anyways, the dog's older now. And the snaggletooth had to get taken out. Now,
what? You got to pull the snaggle out.
The snaggle got taken out, and now you can hold the dog. The dog can be held.
Oh.
He doesn't mind anymore. He's older now. Needs help getting up places.
Okay.
But I'm going. Oh, this poor dog. I felt so bad because it was like he was in pain probably all these years. Animals are very interesting creatures, man.
Oh yeah, they. I look at my dog Maya, who's in the car right now, trying to get out of the car. I look at her sometimes.
I'm under a
like,
bridge.
This is like a little. She reminds me of like E.T.
Your dog?
Like it's like this little. Well, yeah. Sometimes I look at her, I'm like, I live with an alien.
Yeah.
This is like a little alien. It's weird. I think about it sometimes. I'm like, it's weird how she understands English. She knows words.
Yeah.
She, she's a cute dog. Are you cute, Maya? You're pretty cute, huh?
Maya's cute.
If you're, like I said, if you're listening to the podcast, you can also be watching the podcast on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're getting very close. Very, very close. I just texted him, and I said, here outside. We're going to get him in. My favorite part is when the guests get into the car, because it's always a thing. It's always.
Now, you've had 2 guests in your car back to back. It's my turn next year. Next week, that is.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Next week. Yeah. You. Yeah. We're gonna get some. You got some cool people. We got some cool guests coming up in 2020.
Oh yeah.
This year.
Or later in 2020.
Later in 2020.
So yeah, get ready for that. But in the meantime, we've got.
I can't believe it's 2020.
George.
It's insane.
George is your grandfather's name. Is that?
George is my grandpa's name. Yeah.
All right.
And that's actually that's my middle name as well. It's George.
Your middle name's George? Rick George?
My middle name.
Wait, hold on.
My real name is Richard. That's my actual first name.
Richard George Darge.
Richard George. It's a lot of zhuzh.
There's a lot of zhuzh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I go by. Well, it's funny. Originally, my mom she wanted to name me Ricky, with an I, R-I-C-K-I.
Hold on. Are you kidding me?
No, Ricky. And then my grandpa's like, you can't name him Ricky. What if he becomes a doctor? It's going to be Dr.
Ricky Darge.
Ricky?
Dr.
That's like
Ricky
a quack.
Darge.
Dr. Ricky Darge. Hey, Mom.
Hi.
Oh, my mom's here.
Hey, how are you?
Saying hi. Here we go.
Taking the dog.
She's taking the dog. All right, we got to go. We're live. We're going live.
Okay, hi guys. He needs to stop for me at Psychic Wines.
Psychic Wines.
To get a bottle of an Italian red.
Okay, my grandpa's getting a bottle of Italian red wine. That's his errand.
Psychic Wines. That's a hip.
Yeah,
that's a hip wine spot.
Very hip. Well, my girlfriend turned my mom on a Psychic Wine, so
really,
that's what we're doing.
Psychic Wines.
That's a good spot.
I've never.
Psychic Wines. You never been? It's good. There's my sister. Okay,
oh wow,
she's
it's a
looking
whole.
at me with disgust. All right, Pop. We got my grandpa coming in.
It's a whole.
He's gonna get buckled in.
Okay.
He's gonna get buckled in. Yeah. Got a minute. We're gonna put this ear pod in, and we're gonna share this. What you got a guy? Tell us about what's going on with you right now, Chris.
I'm just driving. I got a guy who was crossing the street when I had a right of way. Don't worry about it. You know what? A lot of people don't realize while this podcast is going on, we are driving.
And then hold it about right here.
Oh, let me turn this.
All right, Chris, we got my. So yeah, if you hold it about there, you're good. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we're good. We're locked and loaded. We got my grandpa George in the car.
Hi, George. How are you?
Hey, Chris.
How are you, George?
Good. How you doing, Chris?
Doing really good. Thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Oh yeah, no problem. I feel like I know you. I've seen you with some of the things you did with Rick and the podcast. You guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. Rick is such a fun person to work with. He's
absolutely
got a very creative. I guess he's your grandson. Is that how that works? Yes.
yeah, he is. Yeah, but he always had that little creative ability with him when he was even small, 8 and 9 years old. Making these little videos on his own with my small camera. It was all good. So I knew he was going to do great things. So
could you? Yeah, so you could tell at an early age that Rick kind of had a creative brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he did. He liked to photograph, and he liked to film and do stuff like that. He did a lot of claymation stuff.
Yeah.
Put together small productions when he'd come and visit in the summertime at my house in Florida, and with his sister and his cousins, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I was in some of them.
Yeah, we did a video. I think I was like 15. It was like a spoof on James Bond. It was called Max Habelway. And my grandpa played. You were like a villain, like a Russian, but your accent kept changing.
Yeah,
it was like a German guy, then he was a Russian guy.
Couldn't get it down.
I remember I had like a film production class in my high school, and I was really proud of this short. It was like a serious short. We weren't trying to be funny. And I remember I played it for my teacher and some of the classmates, and they kept laughing at it. They were just laughing at it because it's me in a suit running. I'm like running and jumping over a fence, and it's pretty funny. But
so you were. Is there any way that we could? Is there any video that we could cut to that on, or it would be hard to find?
I unfortunately no. I have the video, but there's something wrong with the audio.
Oh my god!
And back in the day, we had there was VHS, and then there was Super VHS.
Right.
And I recorded the final on the Super VHS, and you can't really find Super VHS players anymore. One day I'll get it transferred. But we can't show it for this podcast.
No problem.
But
so George,
I did. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So
take it away.
Rick was saying that you live in Newark now, or Nork, as he was pronounced. No.
He was born in Newark.
Oh, but you're living now in Florida. Is that correct?
Yeah. Right. Yes. North Central Florida. Yeah, we've been there for about 30 years or so now. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
So, what were the early years like for you on the East Coast? What were you up to before Rick got on the scene?
Well, close-knit Italian family.
Right.
That we are, and everything revolved around food.
Okay.
And still does. You know what they say about Italians, either they're eating food or talking about food. So you just can't get away from the food aspect of it,
Yeah.
And my mom was a super cook. We were all boys in the family. We had no sisters. And but a lot of cousins, we saw on occasion. We didn't see a lot of the cousins because they lived far from where we were. And it was just my brothers and I, my dad, and at that time, Bonanza was a big hit on TV. The show Bonanza with Little Joe, and So my dad and my other two brothers, we always called ourselves. We refer to Little Joe, me, and my other brothers as the bigger brothers and stuff.
Was Haas on Bonanza? Was Haas on Bonanza?
Yeah. Haas was on Bonanza. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, he was the older brother, and so we did that, and a lot of fun around the dinner table. Laughing and just having a good time during the week, and then Sunday was the big spread. 1 o'clock.
Sure.
And you had to be there.
Dinner would start at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And no matter, you had to be there. And
it's an all-day event.
Yeah.
So what were some of the items that were cooked for the Sunday dinner?
Oh wow! Well, it started off with an antipasta, and we always had wine. So wine was, when we were small, we'd have a little bit of wine, a lot of water, and as we got older, we had more wine than water, to grow into it. But always had wine, and my dad always said, wine was to be partaken with food. Never drank wine by itself.
Okay.
So we always had wine and food together, and that was part of it. And then I'd start off with an antipasto. It would go on to some type of a pasta dish, which was the first course. And we'd have that, and probably most times we had seconds on that. And then my mom would have either a roast beef, chicken, veal, or whatever, fish, whatever it might have been, a turkey, whatever, And of course the holidays, forget about Easter and Christmas and all the other holidays. That was just an extra, bonanza of food coming out,
Oh, wow.
And so that was a typical of the Sunday meal. And then if we had relatives stop over unexpected, it would continue on, for another couple of hours. Yeah. So it was kind of an all-day affair.
Now, Christmas Eve is a big fish seafood festival, isn't that from what I understand? Italian.
7 fishes.
Yeah. Traditionally.
How did that start? What was?
The 7 fishes. You know what? I'm not absolutely positive of how that started. There's another holiday, St. Joseph's, and that you need, I believe it's 12 people at the table to make it official.
Okay.
We had neighbors that we kind of grew up with, and my buddy's grandmother was into that, and so we'd go and other people would go, and so they needed 12 people. So the Italians have these crazy superstitions and traditions, so so that was one of them. I don't know exactly what the 12 fishes, but the 7 fishes for Christmas Eve, but we tried to do that. And when we were young, the kids were small, we always had Christmas Eve at our house. And, people would come and go. They go to other people's houses, or some would come and stay the whole night. But so it was like kind of an open house. And we'd make all the dishes, the pastas and the chicken cutlets and everything, And my wife was a gourmet cook, and she just loved to entertain and happy to feed people. She just loved to feed people and still does.
Yeah, Rick always tells me whenever he goes home for the holidays or comes out to visit that he just becomes like one big piece of rigatoni. He eats so much. He eats so much.
You're making pasta. He's making pasta tonight, actually. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
handmade. Yeah.
Whoa, where's he? Okay, maybe I'll swing by, huh?
Yeah, you should actually.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's fun. I enjoy it, and so it's kind of a tradition in our house.
Now,
it's fun.
Rick was saying too. Yeah, Rick, you were talking about wanting to ask about what it was like growing up in New York City. I guess. Well, what era would that have been back in the 60s and whatnot?
Yeah. So, I started working in Manhattan probably around '69, just after Vietnam.
Okay.
And I was in the garment center, women's sportswear, and sportswear was coming about at that time. Traditionally, before that, it was women were in dresses and stuff like that, so sportswear was kind of, and it was for, they call it the juniors, so that was like the teenagers, and so clothes for those little girls, and there was during the '70s, there was crinkled nylon, these shirts. They were very popular with all different types of prints, and a lot of the stuff was coming out of Asia, coming out of China and other places. And so it was great. So we were importing a lot of those items, and I remember the fellow that I worked for. He would get real nervous, and probably invested $6 million in these in the garments, being shipped over. And of course, customs, you had to get through customs with everything, with the right paperwork. And if something fouled up, well, they can hold the shipment up, and then you couldn't deliver it to the department stores, and they had the ability to cancel if it was late and so forth. So he was always stressed out. And I remember he used to lock himself in the clothes closet with about a dozen of these knishes, which is, I don't know if you know what a knish is, right? It's a Jewish dumpling stuffed with either
of course,
chopped chicken liver or potato,
a knish.
Knish, right? And he would lock himself in there. And people say, "Hey, where's so and so?" And I go, "I don't know. He's out of the office." If I knew where he was, but he didn't want to be.
He was stress eating.
Yeah, he was stress eating. Yeah, he devoured a 12 in about a half an hour. And so that was a funny thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And with LA, I've heard people say it was a little bit easier to get around. I mean, it's like there weren't as many people in the city. It's like there's a lot of people nowadays in Los Angeles. Was New York similar, where it was it always the hustle and bustle that it is now, or was it a little bit easier people-wise to get around, I guess?
It was a lot of hustle and bustle because you had all the you had menswear, you had ladies wear, you had the fur, you had the diamond, so it was all in one area of New York City. So you had guys that are out there, pushing carts of fur coats or fur jackets or fur pieces, through the streets.
Wow.
And other big containers that had fabric in them. They were pushing to factory where they got sewn up and stuff like that, and so every single day it was just a zoo.
Okay.
But weekends it was a ghost town.
That's cool.
No, nothing there. Yeah, you could literally just go and see nobody, no one there, because everybody was out of that whole area, and it was exciting. It was fun. Women's wear daily, every day, seeing what was happening, in the industry around the world and so forth, and fashion. So, I mean, we weren't high fashion, we were in couture.
Exactly.
By any stretch of the imagination, but we did more volume to, department stores like a Macy's and Gimbel's at that time that were there, and all the other big department stores, and some of the small, we call them mom and pop stores.
Right.
I remember an incident when I first started, being a new guy and saving everyone's business card, to refer to them, their numbers and so forth, to call them when they were coming back in and we had market weeks, they would come in for the big market weeks from all over the world, all over the country, actually.
Right.
And I remember looking at this one card, and I said, oh yeah, it was a small little store, maybe I think in Des Moines, Iowa somewhere, she had one or two stores, this lady. And I remember looking at the card and saying, oh yeah, I do remember her, and her name was on it, of course, and all that. And who walks in the door of the showroom was this lady. And I get up and I say, "Hey, how you doing, Dara?" And she was like, her mouth opens, and she was like in shock that, how did I remember her? A little store in Des Moines, Iowa, and I remembered her name. Well, she thought I was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and of course I didn't tell her. I just saw her card in front of me. But it was like kismet,
Wow.
And she became, I think she used to buy from me maybe $1,200 worth of goods on her trips to us, to buy from us and other people, of course.
Sure.
And then by the time I left that one company, I think we're up to like $10,000 or $12,000 that she would spend every season with us, which was a lot. Yeah.
Was she buying it for herself?
She was buying it for a store
In
that she would
Iowa.
sell, retail. Some little town in Iowa somewhere.
So I guess that makes sense then. So the smaller towns back in that time, they would travel. They'd have to. Was there a catalog system where people could go through catalogs and order pants?
Well,
and stuff.
Yeah, like a Sears thing, no.
Yeah.
So, but they did have.
I'm just driving by a Sears, the Sears in Santa Monica. That's so funny you say that.
Funny.
I'm just.
Is it? That's funny.
It's closed, but it's the Sears building.
Yeah,
it's historically protected. I'm driving right, just so you guys know, I'm going right onto PCH right now.
I don't know
I'm
what the
looking
people
at the ocean.
that lived like up in the Kentucky mountains did it when Sears closed, because the catalog used to be in with the outhouses. So, that was part of the whole deal with the outhouses, was the Sears catalog in there.
Where they take it down?
If you didn't have any TP, the Sears catalog.
You would use the Sears
catalog. Would be, and try to get
really sticking it to those like Sears boys and girls. I'll tell you that much.
Right, like dresses and towels would go first. Those pages, I guess.
Are all the Sears? Are they all closed?
They're done. Yeah.
Well, what happened was I think Kmart Corporation bought Sears out.
Oh.
Yeah, and then eventually, they closed them down. So, yeah.
Well, because Kmart went out of business too, didn't they?
Right, and that's why Sears went out of business, because they own Sears.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon and Walmart.
Amazon, right? We just ordered stuff from Amazon. In fact, Hey, why leave your house?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get anything on
Absolutely,
Amazon. We got most of our gear for this podcast.
This whole podcast is from Amazon.
Yeah, there you go.
Brought to you,
it's all from Amazon.
Brought to you by Amazon. You got to throw the Amazon sign up when we do that.
I love Amazon. I don't know what people do without Amazon. Yeah, they got to order from Amazon.
But it's funny. My mom uses my grandpa's Prime account, and so he sees. You see constantly her. He gets the emails of what she's buying, what she's returning.
Yeah.
Oh, from your mom?
She they share it.
Yeah, she's a buyer and returner. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny.
The color's wrong, whatever. But
so
it's better to do it that way.
So you're living in New York, and then when did you decide? Did you get married in New York, or did you decide to move down to Florida first, or what's the timeline from New York working and selling clothing into where you are in Florida?
Yeah, so I left the New York City. It's got all the good and all the bad. You could find all the good things in New York, and the restaurants and the museums and all the culture, and then all the bad, if you wanted to see all the bad parts. Yeah, it was all. And it was the job I had. It was stressful, the type of business I was in. It was a stressful business.
Sure, yeah.
There was a lot of lying and cheating and conniving and like all business.
Yeah, sounds like the film business.
Like all business. Yeah, like all business. Yeah. But it was a stressful kind of a thing, and then. We decided the kids were all were grown and out of the house. We had a big house, and what we do and still continue to cook, on Sunday, my wife Carol, she'd say, this is too much food for us. Let's call Frank and his wife, or call John and tell them, so we'd have 2 or 3 other couples come to our house and have dinner with us on, just on spur of the moment, and we do that like almost every Sunday. We'd have somebody fill up the house, and now she does the same thing. It's only 2 of us, and she cooks like there's 12, so
Right.
oh my God, and they just can't get away from it. It's like a guy that was a cook in the Army, can only cook for 300. You can't cook for 2 or 3.
But my grandparents, they also volunteer for their church in Florida, and you guys cook for like 100 people, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
We do that, and that's fun, and it's kind of a give back kind of a thing, and helping other people and so forth. So it's fun. Yeah, and then we left the garment center, just too much stress and all, and we decided to kind of semi-retire.
Okay.
And that's when we decided to kind of go down to Florida, And I really didn't want to go to Miami or anything like that, any of the big cities. But my wife's aunt was living in Ocala. That's where we live, in Ocala, and it's kind of horse country, kind of like have a few palm trees, but mostly like live oaks and things like that, So it was kind of, and a lot of farm areas with horse farms and things like that.
Interesting.
And real beautiful, yeah.
You did some stuff with the horses too, right?
Yeah, I did some. Well, yeah.
Well, okay. What'd you do with the horses, George?
No, wait.
What about the
I don't want
horses?
to get the wrong idea here.
Yeah.
I didn't physically touch the horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
but
no.
I did watch when they would take some thoroughbred horses and for breeding purposes,
Yeah.
And so I'd go onto this horse ranch, and they'd have this beautiful horse, a racehorse, and this, and tied up, with this large rope, and then they'd have the female come by and kind of like he'd get a little sniff of her,
Wait.
and get kind of excited and all that, and then the
Wait,
one of the
what?
guys
Literally, right as you were saying what the female had done, it cut out. What happened?
Yeah.
He would get the male horse would get excited.
Oh yeah. So they take
of
the
course that's
female
what
and
cuts out.
kind of kind of walk her around the male, and get him all excited and all that, and then when he get all
they call
excited,
it studding, isn't it?
Yeah, right, exactly. And then it was this giant condom that they would have,
Oh my God.
and it was not something for the lighthearted, Anyway, and then they would right away go into where they had the equipment, and they put it on dry ice and all that stuff.
Wait, this has turned into the grossest one yet.
Yeah,
I had no idea that. I had no
yeah.
idea. We're talking about Italian food and a loveliness, and now we're.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because these horses are worth a lot of money.
Oh yeah, millions of dollars. Yeah.
What are they? Race horses or are they?
Race horses. Yeah, race thoroughbreds.
Yeah.
And the horses that they have in these stalls, in these barns where they live better than the guys that taking care of them. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, they do.
So then they would pack it away in these containers, and then you'd go to my job was to go to the airport and ship it to wherever it was going, to impregnate a female horse,
Right,
and stuff
right.
like that. Yeah, big money in this stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
yeah,
Like
a lot of money. Yeah.
It's like drug money or a jewel heist or something. Almost.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I was involved in that, and that was kind of fun, a little bit of fun, and but and met some interesting people and things.
Sure.
And they live in the same town as the actor John Travolta.
Yeah.
He lives there. Yeah.
John Travolta
one of his main houses.
He lives in Ocala.
In Ocala. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a place called Jumbo Air, where he has two of his planes. One enormous plane, like a passenger jet.
Yeah, that guy likes flying planes, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's a pilot. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a pilot. He actually flies for Qantas once a year to, and I guess they bought the plane for him.
Wow.
Millions and millions of dollars. But anyway, really nice guy. I never saw him in town, but people have told me that, he had the kids in the pet store, or he went to Hooters or go get a burger or pizza, or the movie theater. We have a small movie theater, something like the Vista that you have here. And when something's playing there, one of his movies were playing there, he was there. And really nice guy though.
Did you say Hooters as in the burger restaurant?
Yeah, like Hooters. Yeah, Hooters
burger
like the burger.
restaurant,
Yeah,
right?
Hooters.
That's right.
Yeah,
you go there for a burger.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you go there for a burger. Yeah, burgers are not that important.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Of course, I've never been in one.
Yeah,
but anyway,
So let's get it out of the horse cum Hooters world, okay? So Rick works on Zen Dog, and then he gives you this role in Zen Dog. Rick, talk about Zen Dog and getting George involved.
So I was saying it before we got my grandpa on. He's been very instrumental in my filmmaking career. He's been a main proponent of encouraging me to move forward on it. And I told him I was going to make a movie called Zen Dog. It was going to be a road trip film. And I think we talked early on about getting you involved in the film. Yeah. Because I've always had my grandpa in like the shorts, and whenever I can, I always because he's charismatic. I like to put him on camera, and that's why I wanted to get him on the podcast. And so Zen Dog, we actually filmed on the road. I believe you can still watch it on iTunes and Amazon.
Oh my God.
And
save that for another podcast.
Yeah, whatever, Chris. And so
just saying.
We filmed nothing. We were on the road for 3 weeks, and we started filming. Well, actually, we were in LA, and we drove a charter bus and the picture car up to San Francisco, where we started our first day. And over the course of 3 weeks, we went from San Francisco. What is this idiot doing? Across the country.
An idiot just drove by me. He was riding.
Idiots everywhere. Yeah, and we finished, one of our final days was in New York City.
Okay.
So I believe you drove up from Florida, right?
No, I was with my youngest daughter in Catskill, New York, and took the train down into the city.
Okay, that's right.
And then met you guys.
Yeah. So our schedule was tight. I mean, we had such a tight schedule that we couldn't afford to have any breakdowns. Luckily, we didn't have anything. But we were on a very tight, strict schedule. We had to be in this city for this amount of time, this city for this amount of time. Kept moving.
It was tight.
So when we got to New York, schedule. we were a little behind, and no one got any sleep.
Yeah.
This is after 3 weeks of nonstop work. So we were all very tired. We get there in the morning, and we link up with my grandpa. Now my grandpa's going to make a cameo role, and he's going to play a New York cabbie. And basically, let's just we'll take a look at the scene right now. So
all right, let's go to the clip.
So we'll roll the clip.
Let's go to clip.
Brooklyn Bridge, please.
Bridge is closed this week, buddy. Where are you going?
All right, so that was the clip.
Okay.
And
Very good.
Yeah, you can see my grandpa. Yeah, he's interacting with our lead actor, Kyle Gallner. It was a small little role, and we had a lot of fun. So that was a fun. The making of that was fun because originally we were trying to play it safe, and I found a prop company that had they had police cars and cabs and what have you, and there was a guy who ran this company, and he was going to bring out a New York cab, and we were going to film in his prop car, and he wanted like $500 for the rental of the car, which I wasn't too happy with paying. I didn't want to pay that much, but we booked him, and I remember we were getting a little late into the start time, and he started asking questions like, where's the craft truck going to be? Where's the whole... And I'm like, dude, you're working on the most low-budget indie film. There's no craft car. And he was one of those... There's a lot of curmudgeons in this business, the union guys that are kind of used to... They're not used to indie work. And they act like everything's a Paramount, Warner Brothers picture. And I remember he was copping an attitude with me. And I was like, screw this guy. I made a call with my producer. I said, we're going to let him go. And what we're going to do is we're going to just flag down a cab in the middle of Manhattan, and I'm sure somebody is going to let us film in their cab and let the meter run. And I remember we fired the guy, and he sent me a bill for $250. I never paid it, and I was like, "You're not getting anything." And I think it was like one of the first cabs we flagged down. This really nice guy.
Yeah.
Butts,
and
right?
Yeah.
Butts.
His name was Butts. Yeah, his last name was Butts. And we said,
His name was
"Look,
Butts.
I lied." Yeah,
Butts.
I was like, I'm an NYU film student. I had my New York Yankee hat on, and I'm like, we're gonna film this quick little scene. The car doesn't need to move anywhere. It's just my grandpa. He's gonna play a cabbie, and can we do it? We'll just leave the meter running, and he was fine with it. And I think we ended up giving him $100 tip. I think it ended up costing $200 total.
Yeah, he was cool.
And my grandpa got in, and we shot the scene, and then we went to another location where we filmed some interior stuff. He's like, he's not going to drive it, right? We're like, no. We're just going to keep it parked.
Yeah.
And it was very easy to get what we needed, and no trouble. We didn't have to pay $500.
That's so cool.
You don't have to be official every time. You can steal and get your things, and as long as you're polite and you ask permission. You might need to tell him you're a student.
Yeah, he was good.
I think he knew we weren't students.
I don't even think it mattered with him.
Yeah, it didn't matter. He didn't care.
He didn't care.
Wow.
But we had a lot of fun, and it was great to get my grandpa involved in that. And,
it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time, and
the whole crew was just really, really nice. You know,
Yeah.
they were great. Yeah.
I mean, for being as tired as we were, we were still.
Then we had that big
strong.
party. It was.
We had a big party.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Was that one of the last?
somebody's
Was that one of the
birthday,
last days of shooting on Zen Dog? Was that what it was?
It was Kyle's birthday.
Kyle's birthday.
The
that's
lead
right.
actor.
Yeah.
Wasn't. Well, we came back to that was the last day on the road. But then we came back to. We took a 2-month break, and then we came back to LA, and we shot 1 week in LA.
Got it.
And it was interesting because in the film, the original script, the character's birthday happens in New York, and our lead actor's birthday was coincidentally at the same time.
Yeah.
It was very weird. We had a lot of weird coincidences.
Yeah,
it was fun. But it was a good time, and it's always fun to work with my grandpa on projects. And
that's so cool.
Yeah.
But
good time.
one thing I wanted to ask you, Pop, was you've talked a little bit about it, but back in the 70s, you and Graham used to go to Studio 54, the famous. It's now closed. Yeah.
Well, at that time in the 70s, the city there was a. Well, it was Studio 54. There was another smaller one. If you couldn't get into 54 because you had to look a certain way.
How? What did you?
Well, you had to be, one of the in people. You had to look kind of suave and, cool.
Right.
And, and the doorman was there, and of course they did have a capacity. I don't know what it was, but it seemed like they could let everybody in anyway.
Yeah.
But he would let you in if you look good. Yeah, all right, come on in. And it was great. And then there was another smaller one which was called Tracks. And so if you couldn't get in that one, you went to Tracks, and all the ones that couldn't get into Studio 54 went to Tracks. But in Studio
Tracks
54, it was exactly what you think Studio 54 was all about. That's what it was all about. I mean, there were people that were intimately, swapping spit in the corner, and other.
You could say kissing on this podcast. You could say kissing.
Other bodily
swapping spit.
Yeah, other bodily fluids. You
would see it out in the open.
Oh yeah, it was right there. And nobody had.
Okay.
And God forbid you had to go to the bathroom. Well,
Disgusting.
that was going to be an experience that would last you a lifetime. And everybody in there had like a little crusty white residue around their nostrils.
God.
And there's
talking about cocaine, Chris.
There's
okay.
a lot of that stuff
I thought it was something
going
else.
around.
Cocaine?
No, it's not the horse.
No, not the horse. And then there was like these little pills that people would take, something with the last letters like a lude. I don't know. Something lude. I don't know.
Quaaludes are no good.
That was it. Yeah, and they were big at that time too.
Didn't they get shut down for something with drug related?
A few times.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few times, yeah.
There was that movie Studio 54. Did you ever see that one? They made a movie about it, I think. I think it was called 54.
Oh, didn't Mike Myers, he played the owner of that place?
Yeah, Mike Myers. Yeah, he plays the owner.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, he was a real, he was a cokehead, as you want to call him that. You know?
Oh, the owner, not Mike Myers.
No, not Mike Myers. No, no.
He really loved the drugs, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he did, yeah. And everybody that came in there did, you know. But it was fun. It was an experience, you know, and, you know, New York at that time was great. I mean, you could literally walk down the street in New York anytime and see, you know, a stockbroker or whoever, you know, in a Brooks Brothers suit, you know, smoking a joint, you know, and nobody bothered you. You know, the cops were all around. Nobody bothered you, you know.
Yeah.
And, it was kind of that era, you know.
What,
cool.
Because I know you've been back to the city. When was the last time you were in Manhattan?
Last time we were in Manhattan, I believe we went to see Jersey Boys, Graham and I, freezing our behinds off, the coldest day, I think, in history of New York City. And that was probably about 8 years ago.
Is that when
maybe?
you got the car broken into?
Oh no, that was in the Bronx. We went up to the Bronx Zoo, and then there's a little Italian section there in the Bronx called Arthur Avenue.
Yeah.
And we went to have dinner in this really nice Italian restaurant owned by some people that you would not want to get on the bad side of. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Mafioso?
Yeah, you
Mafioso
know, like
guy?
da 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 da. Yeah. You talking to me, buddy? Yeah. So, but real nice, you know. And the owner, he sat there and watched everybody, you know. And the food was absolutely fantastic. Small little place, you know, but packed all the time. And so couldn't find parking, and we parked on a back street somewhere. And I had my little dog. It was a little Boston Terrier, Jake, who passed away about 3 years now. And so he was sitting in the car with us. You know, he was in the car. We left him in the car, and some guy broke in the passenger window trying to steal, I guess, the radio and whatever.
With Jake in the car?
Yeah, but I think Jake kind of scared him. Yeah. Anyway, and I was lucky because a guy was pulling in front of it, backing in, and heard the alarm go off. And anyway, the guy ran off. And so we had no window. It was freezing cold. It started to snow, and I'm looking for something we ran into a hardware store and bought some duct tape, and looked like a piece of cardboard there. Well, I didn't realize it, but it was a homeless guy. I took his wall of his den out or something. Yeah,
his living room
I
wall.
took his living room wall out, and he said some obscenities to me, and I told him to be blessed, and I stuck it on the...
You kept it.
I kept it, and we taped it onto the car, and we made it back to Catskill, New York, you know, which was like 2 hours away, you know. Yeah. So, that was fun. Yeah.
All right, Pop, we're actually here. My grandpa's going to get some Italian wine.
Yeah.
So we're going to pull up. He's going to run in. We're going to keep the podcast going.
Okay.
And then we'll continue the conversation once he gets back in the car.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll double park right here for you.
All right, great. Yeah.
We'll see you in a second.
All right.
All right, taking a little intermission.
Yeah, take a little break here.
He's going to run out?
How?
Yeah.
This is nice. This is lovely.
Yeah, I told you it's going to be good. Yeah, he's fun.
How long did it take you to get there, to the Psychic Wines?
Well, you know, Psychic Wines from where he was at my mom's place, it's actually only 10 minutes, but I took him down Hollywood Boulevard. We went in there. We did a little loop, kind of went around. Are you in Malibu?
I'm in Malibu. Yeah, I'm up here, baby. But
nice.
I'll just keep driving.
Okay, cool.
I got I'm just looking. I got plenty of time and plenty of space.
You could probably turn around. I think we'll probably go another 15 or so minutes.
Perfect. That's perfect for my hard drive, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to be coded.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to be coded, all right? I got to get a little bit of a bigger SIM card for the recorder.
And you know what? You're more than welcome to stop by for a bowl of pasta tonight if you want to come by.
I think I'm going to.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Where are you going to do it? At your mom's place or?
No, we're going to do it at my place, which you haven't seen yet.
I haven't even been to your house yet.
Yeah, so you can bring all the cards from all the old podcasts that I need to edit.
Oh my God!
Bada bing, bada
and we're gonna boom. We're gonna bada bing, and we're gonna bada boom. I'm pretty sure I could do that.
I got to move out of my office.
You got
office.
So Rick moved into an office above the Dresden, and it is
above the Dresden. And been there for 8 months.
I liked it. It was a great little transition, but you know what?
It was a great location. But 2020, new year, new me. It's I don't want to leave, but I have to temporarily move out because there's like black mold going on in there right now, and it's really bad. I was in there. So I was in Mexico City for a week. I was shooting a commercial for a little fruit company, and LA had some torrential, downpours during that week.
Yeah.
And there's an issue with the office where it leaks, super heavy.
Yeah.
Water comes through the corner of the room. Anyway, I'm talking gallons of water soaked into this old dirty carpet. And I went there after I got back from Mexico City. I was working for a week, and I was sick for a full week. Headaches, aches, pains. And usually, I've got a pretty good immune system.
Did it start getting weak?
Well, I was sick for 6 or 7 days, and I'm like, this is weird. I usually can kick something in about 2 to 3 days tops. And I remember I went home for a full 24 hours, and I woke up feeling fine. And then I went back to the office, and I was working for an hour. Then all of a sudden, I got like the craziest, weirdest neck pain, headache, like hypertension. And I had this like gut instinct. You always got to listen to your gut.
Yeah,
and
you do.
I think there's something in this room that's causing me to be sick. So I started going in and testing my theory. And sure enough, every time I would go in, I would get like this compromised, immune system, a cough, a weird thing in the back of my throat. And, I brought the owner of the building out to come and investigate, and he was super dismissive about it, probably because he knows. And he was also like, he said, well, I'll replace the carpet, no problem. And I thought my red flags went off because I was thinking, you don't even know what's wrong with it. And replacing a carpet isn't cheap. So I just I thought it would be best just to move out and not compromise my health until they fix the problem. So, but it's okay. I don't. It was nice. It was a good little solution. I needed an offiess.
Yeah, because then you moved in, and then you moved in with Hillary, and now you've got a nice space there.
We got a bigger place, and I have enough rooms to where I can have a home office and get some work done. But
I do not know.
Be such a pain in the ass.
I have no idea where I want to move to in the city. I mean, the rent at my place where I'm at now is great. I got a nice studio. Yeah. I'm in the mid-city. Talk about it way too much in the podcast. But I'd like to move because I'd like to change it up. But I have no clue where I'd like to go. I grew up in LA, and
you feel like a mid-city guy. Like you feel like exactly somewhere over there. Like
okay. You're gonna put me right over there, huh?
Well, you seem like a mid-city guy, or you might seem like a Burbank guy. Can you hear him still on the?
Yeah.
Okay. You can hear him in there. He came back in. That's
okay.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. He's gonna get safety first.
What kind of
bottle?
We
probably got about another 15 minutes, and then we're gonna drop you back off. So yeah. Yeah. What kind of bottle did you get?
It's just a nice dry Italian to go with the pasta.
Oh yeah, it's Angelino Male.
Yeah.
It's like I said, if you're listening to the podcast, you can also be watching the podcast.
Right.
Depends. If you get that YouTube Red, then I like the YouTube. Chris, do you have the YouTube Red?
I do have YouTube Red. Yes.
Yeah, it's good because then you can play. You can play a podcast and you don't have to keep YouTube open. Oh, it looks like she's making something over here. Yeah.
What's she making?
Thing out.
I'm in deep Malibu right now. I'm in deep Malibu right now.
Oh, he's in Malibu.
Oh.
He went to a little coffee place called
nice.
Starbucks.
Well, I was going to get some lunch, and the grocery store I would go to up here called PC Greens is closed. It was like a health food grocery store up in Malibu. It was one of my 2 go-tos, and it's closed. So I'm going to drive up farther up in Malibu. But I have got to say that PCH is one of my favorite drives on planet Earth. I just love it so much. It's so pretty.
It's peaceful.
If anyone is coming out to LA to visit LA, I highly recommend the PCH drive. Rick, you should take George and your grandma on a PCH drive before they head out of town.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah, they're going out in a couple days. I think we're gonna go see Star Wars tomorrow. That's the plan. Gonna go see the new one.
Right.
Chris, have you seen the Star Wars?
I haven't seen Star Wars yet. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for Star Wars, but I'll go with all them. It'll be fine. I lost interest after the first one that J.J. Abrams did, The Force Awakens. There was so much hype around it.
Yeah.
And then I saw it, and I was like, what the hell is this? It felt like a committee of bankers were making the plot decisions, you know?
George, have you seen what movies have you seen recently that you've really enjoyed?
Oh, we saw a great one.
Yeah, we just saw a great one actually the other day, Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, wow.
The best I've seen him. Yeah, he was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that movie's awesome.
Yeah, he was great in that. And it kind of was that whole era that I was in too. I know it said 2012.
Yeah.
And actually 2010, 2012, but it was the same kind of feel of the 70s and 80s of the jewelry business there. And actually, my older brother knew his best friend and godfather to one of his children was in that jewelry business. And anybody and everybody that was in the jewelry business back then, and probably now,
It's shady.
yeah, it's kind of, borderline, whatever you can get and do and sell.
They're
and,
shady,
maybe buy from somebody.
They're shysters.
Now a lot of.
Is that the right word?
Where I live.
I don't know.
Yeah, where I live now, they're called porn shops.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake Rolexes in the movie.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta watch it.
It's one of my. I would, for me, I'm gonna say it's probably my favorite movie of the year.
Okay,
Of
cool.
2019.
Yeah.
We're now. The podcast is out. We're now in 2020, but of last year, it was my favorite film.
Yeah, really good job. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, everybody and a couple of the unknown actors in it that played some of the thugs or hoods really did a great job. Like Rick was telling me, one or two of them was their first acting job. Yeah,
the couple of the main villains. I looked them up on IMDb. I forget their names right now, but it's their first and only movie.
Yeah,
and these guys are probably in their 50s.
Yeah,
Yeah, supposedly they had met some of the people in the movie like the night before they were shooting, and said like, "Hey, you want to be in the movie because the characters." Really? Yeah. A friend of mine was saying that last night.
Oh, really?
Wow. That's crazy, risky. The night before.
Yeah, a couple of the actors. I guess like the jewelry shop that they filmed in, Adam Sandler's son. That was the jewelry shop's owner's real son.
Well,
Really? Okay.
The jewelry shop was actually a set that they built.
Oh, then I don't know anything.
The actual set. Well, I believe it. I think those directors, which I'm a big fan of, the Safdie brothers, they like mixing non-actors with real actors. They are. I like them because their movies have a kind of a vintage 80s, 70s feel, but they don't feel like a lot of movies are nostalgic, and they're a little overly nostalgic, where they feel like they got an original voice. It just feels like they love those movies and they've infected their style. But
cool,
I don't know. Yeah,
I think I just drove by Johnny Carson's house. I'm not 100% sure, but I know I'm in the zone of the Johnny Carson house over here in Malibu.
I went to now Johnny Carson's where they shot the Tonight Show is now owned by the video game company Blizzard, and it's a big video game. It's all about video games now. But I was getting a tour of the old studio. We went into Johnny Carson's green room where he would get ready, and the tour guy was showing us there was a secret door that Johnny Carson had, and the door led directly to the parking lot. So if he had a girl in there, she would sneak out the back.
Really?
And take off. So his wife couldn't see.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's what he said. I don't know. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Yeah. He was the talk was he was notorious cursor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Behind
he loved the F-bomb.
He dropped an F-bomb from time to time. Well, we worked. Rick and I worked on this this one project that's never come out yet called The Golden Boys. And there was this one actor who worked on it. What was his name, Rick?
I forget his name right now. Yeah, but what was his involvement with Carson?
He said he would like go up. He said the best thing that you could have happen was get invited to a party at Johnny Carson's house, and if you got that, that was like the huge get, and you'd roll up there, and he was an Asian American actor, and he said he was like one of 2 Asian American actors that would go up there. This is all out of context and hearsay. I can't back the story, but I did find it interesting.
Yeah.
That guy was an interesting guy anyways.
He was a character.
What was his name? Do you remember the actor's name?
Oh, man, I can't remember offhand. But that short film will probably never come out.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris and I made it a couple years. We made it back in 2015, and I think, or no, I don't know when it was. It was wild. It was a weird short film we all made.
Very weird. But that's what I love about working with Rick, George, is that it's so fun because we can kind of experiment with weird ideas, and if we don't feel like they're going to work, or you just kind of
we're not precious. We'll throw them away.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah. There's no ego involved, and that's the main part of it. You know. Yeah, and I think Rick has told me that he enjoys your friendship, so that's a good thing. You know.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I know Chris for I've known you for 10 years now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess so. 10 years.
But we really started coming together as friends about 6 years ago in 2014.
I think so. Yeah, with improv and all of that stuff.
That's cool.
Well, and then I think when this podcast is out, I guess Chachilla got into the Tallahassee Film Festival. That was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, in Florida. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. How far is Tallahassee from you?
It's about 3.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
North. It's north. Yeah, north.
Is that where Garen's from? Tallahassee, the co-star in the film.
Yeah. I think that's her.
Is she gonna go or no? I don't think we're gonna go.
No, I don't think we're going either. I think she wanted to invite all of her family that lived out there because she's gonna get a bunch of them to go. So I think there's going to be a lot of family members. I think, but from what you said, our film might be playing Mammoth Mountain. I'm going to go to that because
Mammoth Film Festival. Well, they invited us as of the recording of this podcast, but
I haven't heard anything.
We'll see if we get in. I've heard. I had a friend who had a horror film, and this festival invited him to come play, and then they rejected him once he sent it in, and he goes, "Oh, thanks so much."
What?
Yeah, festivals are weird.
Wow.
Festivals are so strange.
Yeah, Chris and I went and did all the film fest. They're all weird. It's a.
Well, you've had luck with the London one,
Yeah.
That guy loved you.
Oh, the rain dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, rain dance is
Chris
fun.
and I went there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we shot another short.
Yeah,
when we were there.
When you were there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's almost.
Was that when you were in Paris?
Yeah, we went to Paris for a day. Chris got sick. He ate some weird eggs and got You ate some weird eggs.
I got food poisoning. Yeah, I got food poisoning.
You got food poisoning. Yeah, on your birthday.
It was on my birthday.
Or the day before your
birthday.
The
worst.
Horrible.
Yeah, it was
where are you guys at? Hold on. I'm a little nervous. I'm in Malibu.
Okay.
I hope I have good service up here.
One time we were doing the podcast and.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Are you there, Chris?
You're there. I'm going deep in Malibu right now.
I hear you.
I'm deep in Malibu.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on.
Yeah, you gotta get out of there.
Yeah, we lost you.
Yeah, one time we were doing a podcast and I did a scenic drive up into the hills, and I lost Chris for a good solid couple minutes. Yeah. One time I was parked this far out, and a guy came and hit my car with a newspaper.
Yeah, he gave you the...
they all give you the look. Everyone's very entitled in the city.
Gave you the stink eye there.
If you're on your feet, you're the most entitled guy. If you're on a bike, you're entitled. If you're in a car, you're entitled.
Yeah.
I did a short film about that. It was all called entitlement.
He gave you the stink eye going by.
I got the stink eye.
You got the stink eye.
Yeah, I was pulled a little bit too far into the crosswalk.
Yeah.
What's traffic like and driving in this city? Do you see compared to Florida? Is it about the same or?
Oh God!
Are people a little bit more uptight here?
No comparison. We have where I live, we have a lot of what we call senior citizens. And
not you.
Yeah, and they drive these huge cars. These big cars that these little tiny ladies, gray-haired ladies. They're horrible. We have one highway. It's called 200 Highway. This is where all of the snowbirds tend to live when they come down here. And there's another big area of where I live. It's called the Villages, and it's like a
where
city within a town within the city.
There?
And they were trying to get incorporated a few years ago.
I didn't knew this would happen.
County that they were in. Lake
I still got service though. Hold on.
Keep talking.
I lost him.
Keep talking.
Hold on, I gotta call him back. Gotta call them back.
Get him back.
Yeah, and they just they're horrible drivers.
Scenic podcast.
They pull out.
But I wanted to go on a nice.
Like LA.
Here they are.
Pull out right
here
in
they
front
are.
of you, cut you off. But
there
these people
you
are not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, he's talking about how in Florida they're just horrible drivers. They cut you off.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of senior citizens.
Not because they're trying to get somewhere like here in LA that they're going. So they're just their minds are they're
preoccupied.
Preoccupied. Yeah. They're just old. They don't care. They don't see you.
Well,
I've been riding motorcycles for almost all my life.
You've been riding motorcycles your whole life?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a Harley.
Yeah. Harley,
what was the
beautiful Harley? Yeah.
My aunt, my grandpa's youngest daughter, her and her husband, they have like 30 Harley Davidsons.
Yeah, they can open up a store.
I'm not even kidding. Like they just keep buying Harleys.
Yeah.
Why haven't we talked about the Harley Davidsons yet?
I don't know. We can talk about it. We got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
So what's the farthest you've ridden your Harley Davidson?
How miles wise at one time?
Yeah.
Probably 400 miles.
300 miles on a motocycle?
400.
No,
400 miles on a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Try 400.
I couldn't feel my ass for a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, years ago I had an English bike.
Triumph.
I had a Triumph. Still had the Triumph, but unfortunately it got burnt up in a fire in my garage years ago.
My uncle.
Yeah, my son had a battery charger charging up his car battery and put it on the same height as his car battery put it on the seat of the motorcycle. It shorted out and burnt up my motorcycle. Yeah.
Okay.
And but it was being restored and still is being restored. 1968.
Wow.
Triumph. Anyway, so that was a whole story there. And when my son finally got out of the hospital, he apologized to me. No, I'm only kidding. No,
my grandpa put him in there.
No, it was only a day or two. He was unconscious. It was not a long time. But So.
Well, Rick, how far are you from? How far are you from the house? Because I'm getting close to my destination here.
Oh yeah, we're close. I would say we got about another 5 minutes, so we can. If you have any lingering questions or anything you want to say, we can get it all out right now.
Yeah, this has been really awesome having you on the podcast, George. I mean, do you listen to a lot of podcasts at home?
Absolutely. I've heard and listened and watched every one of them. I think you guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you.
I was thinking, he was saying also, like, do you listen to other ones? Or is
other ones? No, I haven't, to be honest.
Nice.
No.
Okay.
No.
We'll keep it that way.
Just keep it this way. Just keep it our podcast, all right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I tell all my friends to watch your podcast. So.
That's great. Well,
trying to get you some followers.
The funny joke was when we started this, we thought that only our mothers would be listening to the podcast, but I just found over this holiday weekend that my mom hasn't listened to the podcast yet. So I had to get her to listen to it.
That's hilarious. Your mom's not even listening. Well, now she's probably listening.
Yeah, wow, I got her all dialed in.
Yeah.
So we overshot the moms and we went right to the grandpas.
Yeah.
The concept is so unique and so great. You guys, you can tell that you guys really like each other, and the guests that you've had on so far were just fabulous. And I hope I don't ruin it for
this has been so fun.
This has been fun.
This has been so awesome.
Yeah, and I think what happens is when you're watching it, you feel like people have known you for forever. That you're just listening to two guys, two friends of yours talking and carrying on a conversation about life itself. And I think that's refreshing. It's nice. It's not scripted. And you can tell that it's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad.
Fun. Well, we're getting close here, Chris. We're I'm gonna drop them off, and then
okay.
And then I think like you'll close it out for us. So.
Sounds good.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, Chris, it was so nice speaking with you. I hope I meet you. Hey, see if you can come over tonight. I'm inviting you. It's not my house, but I'm inviting you.
Yeah,
all right, I'll swing
pasta.
over tonight. That sounds great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, come by.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for having me on again. Yeah,
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
All right, George, take care.
All right,
Rick.
Take it easy,
Talk to
Chris.
you later.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, there you go. Another episode of Bumper to Bumper. It's so cool getting to talk to, I think, people's families. Get to hear stories. I love getting the perspective of Rick as a child. I want to delve more into that on this podcast because I think Rick is so interesting, and his grandfather was crazy interesting. I've known people in the garment industry too in my life. It reminded me a little bit of Robert Evans, the movie producer, because he was in the garment industry in Manhattan. It kind of took me back to that era. But I'm still here on PCH. I'm going to pull off and end this podcast. You've listened to another episode of Bumper to Bumper. You can get it where you get all your podcasts. I think I brought my game today. I think my A game was up. So thank you for listening. Thank you to Rick and thank you to George. And this was great. Have a lovely whatever day of the week it is on wherever the hell you're listening to this thing. This was Bumper to Bumper, and my name is Chris Candy. See you next week. Woohoo!